Hey, y'all. So as we go ahead and jump this off, we want to listen to a few of these questions and answers. But before we start this thing up, hold on. I'm sorry.
You showed all your teeth, did you?
Never run out of air.
Now we're talking about the interview. Keep question is answer, so you need to say the interview that Trump had. I don't have my wedding ring on.
All right, let's go.
That's weird. I don't have my wedding ring on.
I don't have mine on. Yo.
I'll put this on anyway.
Y'all, so y'all know that Trump just did a interview, and so what we want to do, we wanted to hear what they're saying on the question and answer phase on here. But before we start this off, man, y'all go ahead and smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. But let's get it. You okay?
I'm proud of Trump. He's doing his thing.
The man to be 70 something is he's youthful.
He is
useful.
45 to do what he do. I like that. There we go.
If the man didn't play golf, I think he would be a wreck dealing with all this stuff. That's his out. You know what I'm saying? His relaxation.
Because I want to challenge an election or
some
other reason. It's a really disgraceful thing. It's a shame. And it's a very dangerous thing for both parties because once they start that ball rolling, that's a nasty ball. Yes, please. Please.
Quick question.
Somebody shooting bugs off him.
Nikki Haley told our Brett Baer that Republicans need to stop whining about Kamala Harris, focus on courting those independents, those suburban women, the moderates out there. What do you think of that strategy, and would you consider having Nikki Haley on the campaign trail with you?
Sure. I think that we've done very well. I think that we're hitting a nerve. I think this is a different kind of a race. All we have to do is define our opponent as being a communist or a socialist or somebody that's going to destroy our country. I fought.
Well, he needs to define that through the policies and not just say you're an incompetent woman. He needs to define.
Right, let him
there's
finish.
Marxism policies.
Yeah,
Nikki
he
very
talked
hard.
about that
I beat
earlier.
her in her own state by legendary numbers. And I get along with her fine. I appreciate that she endorsed me and all of that. No, I think that I think relatively to what they're doing and how radical they are and how in many ways how sick they are, I think I'm doing a very calm campaign. I mean, we're here. There's no shouting. Now, you'll say he ranted and raved, and not you, but some of you will say he ranted and raved. I didn't rant and rave. I'm a very calm person, believe it or not. If I wasn't, I probably wouldn't be around anymore, But no, I think I appreciate her advice. I have to do it my way. I ran against her, and I did it my way. People said I should maybe do it a different way, but I won in South Carolina by numbers that nobody's ever seen before. It wasn't even close, and I think she's a good woman. I'd love to have her support. Yeah, she gave me support, but I'd love to have her go around and campaign.
Quick follow-up on the economy. You mentioned this.
I like that response in regards to Nikki Haley.
Yeah, versus attacking.
Because she was coming for him.
Yeah.
And, he is not even studying it. It's just like, he doesn't seem like he doesn't have a vendetta.
No.
But he wants to clean house and start over with the right people in place. And you can't blame him for that.
I believe, like I said, he's a person to, you're with me or you're against me. But if you're against me, you're going to deal with the wrath of that. You with me? Your family to a degree, you know what I'm saying, to a degree. I don't think he would ever trust her like that, but he would trust on the campaign because you do need a woman voice to combat the woman voice on the other side.
Well, he has several of them already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In your remarks, Vice President Kamala Harris wants to put a ban on price gouging. Do you think that the federal government should be responsible for determining food prices?
Well, not only responsible, they probably can't do it legally, and that will drive up prices. She wants no fracking. Now, she may go and change that. I think she's already changed it. But she wants to have no fracking. I want no fracking. But for her whole life, she said that. No fracking. Then about, I don't know when, a couple of months ago, all of a sudden when she started looking at polls, remember this, she all of a sudden says fracking. I don't think I won Pennsylvania, and I did much better the second time. I won it in 2016, did much better the second time. I know Pennsylvania very well. I don't think there's any way in hell that somebody that's intelligent living in Pennsylvania is going to vote for somebody that basically will eventually end fracking,
right,
end fossil fuel. So whether it's Oklahoma or Texas or Pennsylvania, a big energy state, people don't realize that 350,000 people work in that industry. But maybe more importantly, they don't want to pay $9 a gallon for gasoline. So, no, I think that she's made statements. I don't know how you get out of it. I don't know how you can say for 10 years there'll be no fracking. I mean, we have tapes of her laughing at the stupidity of the question. Of course I'm not going to allow fracking. And then all of a sudden, a few months ago, she comes out in favor of, oh, yes, I'd allow fracking.
Right.
I don't think anybody in Pennsylvania will be. I think she's going to do very badly in Pennsylvania. You have to frack. We need the energy, and Pennsylvania needs the jobs, but Pennsylvania needs the energy also. That energy is going to support our new system for AI and all of the other modern things that need massive amounts of electricity and energy, massive. So it's a very good question, actually. But we have to unify as a country. We have to come together, and I think we can. You know, I get that question oftentimes, and I used to think maybe there's no way because, you know, some people want a border, some people don't want a border.
I think it's by us being able to dig for oil on our land that just keeps us so powerful within our nation. I don't know all the ins and outs. There's a lot involved in that, but how we don't have the gas deal, the oil deal with the other countries, or whatever, you know, however they ended that, and I don't see what I want to know. What are the details from us just getting all our oil locally on our soil? Like, what's the details of that? Like, why do we have to go outward? Why can't we just get as much oil from the land that will always be abundant right on this earth?
I don't know, but I do. Did you know that there was L.A. is like sits on a oil? Yeah, I don't know what video I was looking at, but it was sharing information about. Oh, I was looking at this video about Los Angeles and how they have tunnels and things. How they like when they first the city was being built.
You ever see them things that the wind things that be?
Yeah, but they stopped it. They used to be able to. They used to frack, I guess, there, but it's been stopped. People were paying fees and everything, and then the video was just talking about when they first moved here. They had like built underground, you know, bunkers and cities and stuff like that, like buildings and tunnels for you to go in. But you know, and then that's when they were talking about also it was sitting on top of an oil, like it's a big oil lake in the city of Los Angeles, and they were being able to go. There was an area in the city where you would go and they would drill. Is
that almost like the tar pit area? Would that be what they have?
I don't know. I don't remember where it was, but they stopped it. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that.
Woke on, because think how much resource out here locally. How much would gas be in the state of California if we were fishing our own oil?
Exactly.
Gas would be $1.
Wow. So yeah, maybe that video will come up.
Most people do want a border, but there's such a difference in people. But just before COVID coming out, so 3 years, we went a long period of time, and we had an economy going the likes of which no country had ever seen before. I think you would agree. There's never been anything like it. And people were coming together. People were calling me I would call them radical left, but I would say very liberal people, very progressive people. They came to me. We would like to get together. In fact, we worked out criminal justice reform. I was the only one that could have done that. I won criminal justice reform, and I got that for black leaders that came to see me. Criminal justice reform. Obama couldn't do it. Biden wouldn't even try, but nobody could do it. I got that done, and I got conservative votes to get it done. They needed at least 5 very conservative votes. It was very hard to do. I got that done.
Wow.
Our country was coming together, and, you know, I can tell you the story of criminal justice reform. When you do that, that means that's a big step. But I was seeing people that were not seeable, that I wouldn't want to see them, and they wouldn't want to see me. And all of a sudden, I was having lunch with people that, if I told you who they were, you wouldn't even believe it. Our country was coming together. Success was bringing our country together, and it can be done. Success will bring our country together again. It can be done. It was an amazing phenomenon, and I used to say, I don't know, it's awfully tough to get it together. I've never seen anything like it. Like, for instance, me getting criminal justice reform done, and I did that with Democrats and some very conservative Republicans who said it's very unfair where people are staying in jail for 35, 40 years, and today they wouldn't even be charged with a crime for what they did. And we got it done, and I was very proud of it. But our country was coming together. The black population had the best numbers they've ever had on jobs, on income, on everything. The Hispanic population had the best numbers. Asian population, men, women, young people with diplomas from the best schools, Harvard, MIT, the Wharton School of Finance, they're all coming together. And everybody was happy. And young people without a high school diploma. The best MIT students and people without a diploma were all working. They were making more money than they've ever made. There wasn't one group that wasn't doing better than it was the year before, 2 years before, or 10 years before. It was the best our country had ever done, and we were leapfrogging China. China didn't have a chance. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs from China. Hundreds of billions of dollars. No president ever took in 10 cents. And what happened is an amazing thing. We had a great, successful country, and our country was unifying. It was the first time anyone's seen it, but our country was unifying.
From some of the polling out there, I know you're saying that you're leading in some polling, but there is other polling out there. A Fox News poll out just yesterday has you up by just 1 point. How do you break away?
1 or 2 points, yeah. And Fox News has always been my worst poll, believe it or not. And even Fox News had me up by 1 or 2 points yesterday. Came out, I think, 2 points, 1 point. I also think, I tend to poll low. In some cases, really low. In 2016, I was polling low because people didn't want to say who they're voting for. I don't know if that's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is. And we did very well in 2016, and we did much better in 2020, much better, but bad things happened.
Yeah.
Through COVID, very bad things happened. So we're not happy about that. Yes, I've seen you around a little bit, so go ahead, please.
Mr. President, thank you for doing
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you talked about how COVID from China was a fence too far. What's your plan for holding China accountable if you get reelected?
Well, I want to get along with China. I had a great relationship with President Xi. We made a fantastic trade deal, $50 billion of farm products and manufacturing products they had to buy here, and they were adhering to it. They don't adhere to it anymore because they don't respect Harris or Biden.
Right.
But as you know, we signed a trade deal with China, and it was actually better than even the USMCA. It was a great trade deal. China had to buy $50 billion, not $15 billion, not anything else, $50 billion. And it was a great trade deal.
Wow.
I think that's one of the underrated things. I think we'll have a great relationship with China. I hope we're going to have a great relationship. But it's got to be a fair relationship. China was taking advantage of the country for years. But so was every other country, in all fairness to China. Every single country was taking advantage of the United States. I can't think of one country where we were doing better than them. Japan was taking. Abe was my dear friend, one of the great men. Great leader, but all of these countries were. I used to say, who signs these agreements? It's amazing that we economically survived.
Wow.
Because we had such bad negotiators, or people were getting paid off. I actually looked at some deals.
That is why we need a businessman and not a politician running the country. Now, your support people can be your politicians that are going to be able to help you in certain areas that you may not, who may know a little bit more specific details on this thing. But that's why we need a person who understands and can negotiate deals.
Yeah, I agree.
And it seems like the relationship with between, it would make sense because if the presidents of other countries have dealt with the presidents of the U.S. and they haven't had decent relationships, and that's because they already know how the U.S. has been moving in regards to, politics. But now you're dealing with a businessman who has a whole different view of how he's handling things, and it's like, how do these other people not see these things? They weren't looking.
True. They weren't looking. True.
I'd say nobody could be so stupid to sign a deal that's so one-sided. Whoever made this deal
They didn't
has
care.
been paid off.
Yeah.
And then I'd look into it a little bit. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's working as an agent for that country. 3 years later, 5 years later.
See?
Now, we changed a lot of those deals. South Korea, we changed the South Korea deal. We made it from a horrible deal to a good deal. I changed the Japan deal. But I made a great deal with China. They had to buy $50 billion worth. They never bought anything like that. In fact, it was a misunderstanding. When I said the people were negotiating, what number are we talking about? They said 15. I thought they said 50. So when they came back to me, they said, sir, we're all set to get it going. I said, good, what's the number? 15. I said, you told me 50. Why are we going down to 15? They said, no, we said 15. I said, you told me 50. Actually, I heard them wrong. They said 15, but I heard them wrong. So I said, go back and get 50. And we got 50 instead of 15. And it was great. You know, I really think that we can have a great relationship with China. We can have a great relationship with a lot of countries that.
If somebody don't come, please get that darn meat and food away from the meat. And it's drawing all the flies on the man.
I know.
Look, he got a fly right here.
Stop. He a trooper. He's swatting and speaking.
And then he getting the fly off with elegance. He's like this.
I know, because he don't want to mess his makeup on. He don't want to mess up his makeup.
Somebody get them damn pork chops out of there. I'm so tired of bringing them flies over there for next to Trump. Leave him alone.
Right now, one of the things with China, I know as much as any country, but all of the countries, the one thing is they have to respect you. If they don't respect you, and you know, I was very tough in countries like Japan, and yet Abe, who was a great man, assassinated, horribly assassinated. He was a great man. He was a great leader. But I believe, and I was very tough on him. I was very tough on Russia. I was probably the toughest. I ended Nord Stream 2. The biggest deal they've ever done, the biggest pipeline in the world, the biggest. All of Europe was going to be supplied by Russia. And I ended the deal. It was dead. And then Biden comes in and approves it.
Oh, my God.
And they say, oh, I was nice to Russia. No, Putin actually said to me one time, you know, if you're supposed to be, like, friendly with me, I would hate like hell for you to be angry at me because you are brutal. Think of it. Not only that, the sanctions, but forget the sanctions. I ended Nord Stream 2. The pipeline was dead. And then Biden comes in, and he got $3.5 million, in all fairness, from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Remember that? During the debate, we brought it up, and Chris Wallace, who's not the father, he is not, there is no resemblance between him and Mike Wallace, that I can tell you. He said, you shouldn't be talking about that. I said, why not? They got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. Why wouldn't I talk about that? He wouldn't let me talk. I said, I'm negotiating against two people, not one. I turned out to be right because a year later, that was a big scandal. Why did he get $3.5 million? But Biden approved immediately the pipeline in Russia, Nord Stream, and he killed the Keystone XL pipeline, 48,000 jobs. He killed it. He did the exact opposite of what he should have done. Yes, please. I know you had your hand up. Nice.
See, that's why we need a person like him. You know, it's so funny that you have one person that don't have the priorities of their own pocket in mind.
Right.
So when they go and look at these documents, they're not thinking,
what am I going to get out of it?
What am I getting out of it?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just signing this because I know they're going to send me $5 million into my private account. So, and that's what you need. When he look at him immediately, like, man, this is garbage. What is this? And that's the stuff. Why do you got leaders in place that only have this mindset? If Kamala was a president, this woman, I don't know how much money she have now, but she'll lead the presidency with $500 million. And you be like, well, how did you get that? Because you signing all those deals and nobody questions all them deals you sign on the back end just for your own interest.
Exactly.
You'll cause a whole war. You'll cause half the country to be gone just so it fattens your pocket.
Exactly, because you know you ain't got but 4 years.
Right.
I mean, well, maybe 8, but I'm just saying. This is the true example of a person that is going to get in there and do the right thing. And I'm so glad he's mentioning this because I wanted to hear I listened to only a part of it, but I'm going to listen to it now because the first part of the interview that we listened to, I was able to hear some of the policies that he was talking about and how he was speaking on some of whatever so-called the things that Kamala Harris has been completely against, and now she's for. But even the things he was talking about, you know, global warming and climate change, he supports clean air, clean energy, and he wants us to have a, you know, clean and safe not government, but, you know, country, society. But we're not going to tear up our country in the midst of trying to support clean air and clean energy, stopping the freaking highway and getting in the roads and block. I mean, come on now. So I get it. But I like this piece because we're actually hearing the reporters ask questions that we, you know, I don't know to ask or to even think of, but it's also shedding light on other areas that we don't even know about.
Exactly.
And your girl ain't doing it.
No, she ain't taking no questions. I can't. And now she's coming. She's mirroring his campaign with stuff. She'll go pander to this, and then for the when you start trying to deal with American people, she try to use some of his speaking points and things that he's going for. It's ridiculous. And people don't see it because they don't want to see it.
No, but his supporters see it very clearly.
No. On us, on the conservative side, we see exactly what that is. And
no, but I don't know. I can't say that because I've been looking at videos here
I'm
lately.
talking about Kamala's people. They don't even watch Trump speeches, so they're not knowing. So they're thinking the stuff that she's stealing, that's fresh and new. Oh, they want to stop tips. Oh, she wants to drill oil. This kind of president we need. Man, that's the stuff all you stole that.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for taking my question. You referenced your conversation with Elon Musk earlier this week. I want to ask you about that. You praised how he treats workers, saying they go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so every one of you is gone. Are you really comfortable with companies threatening to fire workers who go on strike?
Well, no, I want companies to get workers that are going to love them and work for a wage that lets the company make a profit so they can go and expand. In that case, they moved, as you know, the company from California, Elon, from California to Texas because they were able to get things that California wouldn't give. And I did ask him one question. You're moving a very big company out of California that's been there for years into Texas. Did the governor ever call you and say, like, let's work it out because we don't want to lose you?
That's a great question.
And he said he never called.
Wow.
He never called. And you would have thought, if I were governor of California and if Elon or anybody else, they have oil companies leaving, I would be calling. But no, Elon wants to run an efficient company, and if he has to he got rid of a lot of people on X or former Twitter. A lot of people gone, and it still works. It still works. So you got to run the company productively.
That's right.
And there are going to be a lot of jobs around. I want it so that a person doesn't get lucky and find a job. I want a person that can look for 10 jobs and all 10 companies want them, and you negotiate much more than you'd get by doing what you just suggested. So, you know, he's a strong man. He's a strong guy. He's a brilliant guy. And he wants to get the best he can, and he wants to get the best workers. He pays a lot of money to a lot of his workers. It's, to a certain extent, supply and demand. But ultimately, that's what's going to lead to a great country. Mm-hmm. So.
Just to follow up on that really quickly, because some people took at that as you saying that you would be comfortable with companies threatening to fire workers. Sean O'Brien, who spoke at the Republican National Convention, saying that firing workers who are wanting to organize or striking is economic terrorism. So just to be clear, that's something that you are not comfortable with?
Yeah, they weren't organizing against Elon. He let them go because he was having a lot of problems in California. They were making it impossible for him. In California, what they were doing with the taxes and everything were making it impossible for him. And Sean O'Brien's a great guy from the Teamsters you're talking, yeah? Sean is great. I think Sean would understand it better than anybody. Don't forget, the unions are really threatened by what's coming in, by these millions and millions of people coming in. Sean O'Brien understands that. The black population is absolutely threatened. The Hispanic population is absolutely threatened. Because these people are coming in, they're going to take their jobs. Mm-hmm. They're going to make it very, very hard. What's happened in our country is very dangerous, very bad thing.
More on the economy, sir, because Governor Tim Walz is out on the campaign trail today, and he's been saying that he believes that you want things to get worse so that you can campaign on it, that you're rooting for failure. What's your
Just the
response to
opposite.
that?
I wish I didn't have to do this. If our country were run by Democrats and it was run beautifully, where we were really being productive and everything else, I would have never done this.
Come on.
I wouldn't have done it if I thought I couldn't have won. I think I can win. I think I can win easily once they're exposed for what they are, which is radical left lunatics, and that's what they are. They're going to ruin,
Say it.
ruin our
Right.
country. Going to ruin our country. And I just
Destroy
hope
it.
the people of our country, and I believe they are because I see it already happening, but I hope they are able to think for themselves, because if they think for themselves, if they look at the destruction that's going to be caused by
right.
Kamala and this person from out of nowhere, he came out of nowhere, a state that I love that state, but a state that's doing so poorly, where he's the one that signed in tampons in boys' bathrooms. He signed a bill that boys' bathrooms, all boys' bathrooms in Minnesota will have tampons. And what's going on? What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us as a country? So no, I would, if we had somebody doing a phenomenal job, I would be extremely happy. What I want to do is I want to see, even the last few months, I hope the country does really well, even though it would make it probably a little bit harder to win. I hope the country does really well. It's country first. I want our country to do great. If they
I was just thinking about just when he was talking about Tim Walz. I cannot wait to see that debate between him and J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is going to smoke Tim Walz. It's going to be ridiculous.
I've just seen him in a few interviews, and he ain't cutting no slack. He's not letting them. He's going to get all his answers out. You know, excuse me. He knows how to really handle his interview.
Right.
a little bit harder to win. I hope the country does really well. It's country first. I want our country to do great. If they were
Country
great leaders,
first.
I would be the first to say they're doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Early on in this race.
What?
Do you regret debating President Biden so early on in the race?
Do I regret debating Biden? So it was his request. He said we should get the debates on early, and I was willing. Don't forget, I got CNN, I got Jake Tapper, and
I like how you said I'm going to keep
Dana
going.
Bash. And they're not Trump people. They wanted to have a debate where their mics are turned off when the other person's answering the question. They gave me every single thing that I couldn't approve, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. So they got the debate on their terms. They got the network that they dreamt of. But that was really his
And he
decision.
still
I had
lost.
to decide whether or not I felt I wanted to debate him. And I think they didn't want to debate, but I agreed to every single thing. It was a debate where they said, we'll give him something that it'll be impossible for him to accept, and I accepted all the terms, other than when they had us sitting down at a desk, and I said, I think that makes us look bad. I don't want to sit down. Let's stand up. And they agreed to that. Other than that, we gave them CNN, we gave them Dana, and we gave them Jake. And by the way, I have to say, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash were unbelievably straight and honest, and I give them a lot of credit for that. A lot of people were saying you couldn't have a fair debate. I think we have that with ABC. I have some people at ABC that don't like me too much. I find it to be about the worst. George
He said about the worst.
Slobodopoulos. I have a lot of people at ABC that
We got a
I
name
find
for
it to be
everybody.
actually the most unfair of all the networks, and they want to do it on ABC. Whatever, I don't mind. The question that you're asking, though, about whether or not the debate should have happened would have been a better question to ask of Joe Biden, because had he not done the debate, he would still be running for president.
That's right.
And people would be hiding him.
That's right.
Just like they're hiding her
That's
right now.
right.
You know they're hiding her no different than him.
Yep.
Because I believe she's grossly incompetent, and I don't think that when people hear what she has to say, they're going to buy it. Thank you all very much.
That's right. Thank you. And on that note, there you go. Let's go. I'm done answering questions.
Which one are you taking?
He said, "Which one?
Which one are you
We need some
picking?
Cheerios. Which one you picking?"
She's 100 years old. She wants my autograph. I think we should do it.
Go do it.
Come on, Trump.
Follow him if you can. Follow him.
It's going to be a mess.
President Trump.
Now Papa Lo be moving right now.
I mean, this was outstanding. I'm so glad we did this particular part because this raises my confidence in regards to him. This raises my confidence in regards to him hitting key issues and moving the personal, attacks, cuts aside because we know he can. He's very, very, very brilliant minded.
Yeah.
I'm just very brilliant minded, and I'm just, so surprised or just at all of the issues that's going on. He knows so much information about a lot of areas, every area of our country, which is really impressive to me, especially coming from a business industry. Even though he was the president for 4 years, I'm just still saying. But now I feel more confident because with that debate, I know he stood on his own, he handled his own, but it was still a lot, he was asking questions and I was kind of wondering, okay, now we're going to be doing some attack thing or we're going to really get to these key issues. And in this question and answer, and even in this interview, I'm going to go back and finish watching, he's speaking on the key issues. And these are the things that people have been saying. Is he going to answer questions? Is he going to direct and get policies, or is he going to be attacking? So there should be your answer. If you should have seen it in this interview. If you haven't seen it in any others, this was a good one to definitely say and listen to the Q&A at the end.
And I think how, like you said, how he responded there, well, how the debate will be, and if he keeps it like that and debates on the policy with a little bit of roast on there, it's gonna be good.
But that's who he is. He's gonna give us some humor, and I mean, you gotta love him for it. I like it. I like the directness. I like he's kind of scaled back a little bit, but like he said, he was cool, calm, and collected. It's no shouting and yelling and acting crazy. No,
Joe, I like when he said, "If I wasn't such a calm person, I probably wouldn't be here."
True. I mean, because just think about it.
Yeah.
Imagine him being, anxious and loud and boisterous amongst all of this high stress stuff that has been taking place.
Yeah.
All of these trials, all of this gag orders, having him get a mug shot. If a person was a high stress level, they would have probably had some serious health issues.
Absolutely.
Stroke, heart attack.
Joe, imagine looking like
But
him.
like he said, no, it happened at the right time, because if not, they would have, like he said, they would have been hiding him. He still would have been running, and then they would have had no time to prepare for somebody else to come on up in
That's
there.
right.
So
All right, y'all.
thank God it happened.
That's right. All right, y'all. So y'all know what it is, man. 2024 be more.
And guys, before we go, let us know what you think about these questions. How do you feel now since you heard him? You may have seen a few other interviews he's done, or conferences, campaigns he's done. How do you feel about this particular one and those questions and how he handled it? I want to know.
All right, y'all. 2024 be more.
Talk less.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.